Welcome back to Asinine Radio, a weekly podcast where we talk about music, and, well, that's pretty much it. So, let's go!
This is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week, whatever band or artist we're doing, we listen to all of their records and we rank them from worst to best, and we also give our biggest banger from each of them. But before we do that, we get into our 6 degrees of Tom DeLonge. If you ended up actually doing it this week, I don't know. But while you're listening, go to Apple Podcasts, go to Spotify, give us 5 stars on there. All of the social media that we have, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that bullshit is at Asinine Radio. We have a Discord server. If you want to join that, let us know. We'll send you the link. And we have a phone number you can call. You could leave us a voicemail. You can shoot us a text message. I don't know. Do whatever you want. This is your life. It's your life. I don't care. And if you didn't already know, my name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. Now, let's get right into our 6 degrees of Tom DeLonge. Did you do it this week, Jeff? Go.
I did.
Wow, so did I.
Did you?
Yeah, I did do it, yes.
Okay.
All right, what do you got? What do you have this week?
But mine's a little different because I did do a 6 degrees of Tom DeLonge, but last week I didn't do one, and we disappointed our longtime listener, and he was sad that we didn't do one for Coheed.
Yes.
So I did one for Coheed.
There you go. All right. So what do you got? So yeah, let's do the Coheed one first.
Gotcha. I only have the Coheed one. So Josh Eppard.
Okay, well, that's fun.
Drums. I'm talking now, not you. That's fine. Josh Eppard played drums for Coheed on a ton of Coheed albums, right? So Josh is in a band called Terrible Things with Fred from Taking Back Sunday fame.
Oh, okay, yes.
But he also played with Say Anything on a touring drummer for the Hebrews tour. And it just so happens that album that they were touring for, Hebrews, is one of the very few times that Tom DeLonge ever lends his guest vocals to. And he had a guest vocal spot on that Hebrews album.
Yeah, what a weird... his guest appearances are just fucking bizarre.
I mean, Mark's just a horror about him, right? Dime a dozen.
Yeah,
Tom's very selective. And it's not like the selective ones are like incredibly good. They're just weird.
Yeah,
diverse.
Very bizarre. Very bizarre. All right, so you did not do one for Lynyrd Skynyrd, because if you didn't already know, we're doing Lynyrd Skynyrd this week. But
Skynyrd.
What did you just say?
Play some Skynyrd.
Annoying. God damn. All right, so my 6 degrees of Tom DeLonge. We're gonna start with Al Kooper, who produced the first record. What?
Like the fucking easiest person to do because he's done so many goddamn things.
What? This was a very difficult week. It's
I know.
Hard to connect this band with anything.
I tried to do I wanted to do the only surviving OG member, the Rossington guy, and it was fucking hard.
Yes, I know. I tried too.
And
I spent like a good 20 minutes trying.
So did I. I was in Discogs looking at fucking credits and shit. I was like, nah, I'm done with this shit, dude.
I know, it was very difficult. That's why I had to go the producer route. I didn't want to, but I did. Had to. Somebody had to. And you're negligent. So we start with Al Kooper, the producer of their first record. This guy, Al Kooper, played keyboards on George Harrison's record Somewhere in England. George Harrison was in a band called the Beatles with John Lennon. John Lennon's son, Sean Lennon, is in a band with Les Claypool. Les Claypool is in Primus, who formerly had Brain on drums. Brain was in Guns N' Roses, as was Josh Freese. Josh Freese, it's a Blink-182 because Josh has played with the band live. And that's my 6 degrees of Tom DeLonge. There you go.
Great.
Easy.
Great.
Not easy peasy. Not easy peasy. But that's fine.
Great.
Let's move on. It's because I could see that you are bored, and so is everybody listening. So, like I said, we're doing Lynyrd Skynyrd today, so we're going to be ranking 5 of their records. We're only going to be ranking their records with the classic lineup, or the 1970s lineup. Let's just say that. So there's 5 records. We're going to do worst to best, and we're going to name our biggest banger off of each of them if we have it. So let's get into that. What do you got for number 5, Jeff? Go.
Give Me Back My Bullets. Their fourth album, 1976. Give Me Back My Bullets is a stupid name for an album. This so prior to this week, I had all of these on the vinyls, and before we even decided to do this, I got rid of all but 2. So that was interesting and convenient, I guess. But yeah, Give Me Back My Bullets. I mean, it's not a bad listen. Like, I didn't hate it. But this one and specifically is so much of the same we've already heard, and with this one there isn't anything on this album that has like an incredible melody or any kind of iconic solo or standout guitar riff. This is like the most plain old people of all plain old people for Skynyrd, and even like the title track is a song that seems like it should be good, and on the surface it kind of is catchy and fun, I guess, but there's like nothing to it. There's nothing to that song. It's a skeleton with no good meat on the bones.
Yeah.
Boring.
That's one way of putting it. Okay.
So yeah, this one got purged, which I'm happy with because Skynyrd sells well on eBay, so, you know.
Yeah, you'll make your money back, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
All right. My number 5 is also Give Me Back My Bullets. Fourth record from 1976. I agree with everything you said. This album's fucking boring. I don't remember anything from any of these songs. It all just kind of flowed as one. I was bored. I almost wanted to shut it off, but I'm like, I'm not mad at it. I'm not annoyed by it. I'll just finish it out. The songs were a little bit slower than a lot of the albums that they put out and songs that they put out. But damn, dude, talk about just vanilla blues rock. That's what, like, moody blues rock. It's just, just so boring. Not even the guitars could keep my attention, which in the end, a lot of the times they couldn't, but nothing here kept my attention. Give Me Back My Bullets, definitely their worst record. So yeah, I got no banger. I got nothing. I really remember nothing from this. So
all right, that's fine.
What's your number 4?
Street Survivors. Okay. This was the last one that I purged, not just because it was sequential order, but I did have doubts on this one. And the big takeaway for this one is this is like the one with the lineup changes, right? We now have a third guitarist who's really he's a really damn good guitarist. That's Steve Gaines, man. He's fucking fantastic. He's amazing. We have now we also have more people singing other than Ronnie. We have somebody like Steve Gaines is now singing lead vocals sometimes, who's a terrible singer. And we also have like backup vocalists now. We have these 3 girls that make up like this trio, like the I3s, like the Rita Marley trio. But that's fine, whatever. I don't really care. If it wasn't for, man, some of the the guitar licks that dude was laying down though, that was some of the best I've ever done. And if it wasn't for that, this would have probably been my least favorite. But this came out 3 days before the crash, so I think people like it more than they should, to be honest. I just don't think it's anything special here. Like, nothing here makes me want to listen to this again. And like, I would for sure never reach for this record over the first 2. Or 3 actually, because not all 3 in my top 3. No way. But this song called Honky Tonk Nighttime Man, that was fucking dope. That's a dope song. It shreds. The guitars were fantastic. Lots of really cool slides and hammer-ons. That was just unreal guitar playing. Loved it. But still not enough for me to keep this record.
Okay, that's fine. That's totally fine. So my my number 4 is Second Helping. Second record from 1974. This is just more straightforward blues rock. I feel like there wasn't a lot that they kind of changed up from the first record. It's just not that catchy. I just didn't find really anything that catchy about it outside of Sweet Home Alabama, which, is a lame song anyway, but it is catchy. I thought this album was kind of forgettable. Honestly, it was kind of forgettable. I have a banger, and then I have like an honorable mention. So my banger is Working for MCA. The instrumentals on this one are fucking solid. Not a lot of vocals, which is nice. And really, the guitars just rip it up in this song. It's fucking that was really cool. So this song was definitely a banger. Honorable mention, Swamp Music, another song with some good instrumentals. The keys really shine on this one, so that was a nice little touch because they don't use a lot of the keys don't really take the forefront in a lot of these songs, and when they do, it's like vaudeville kind of like sounding thing, and that's really obnoxious, and I fucking hate it. But yeah, I don't know, those two songs were good. The that kind of the extended like guitar parts, I wouldn't want to say solos, but guitar parts on Call Me the Breeze were pretty good too on that song. But yeah, overall I would never ever go back to this record. And I will say, oh no, I'll get more into it on the main episode.
Okay.
Second helping, I would never go back to it. So yeah, that's
so
what I
you
got
like
for my
Street
number
Survivor.
4.
Street Survivor is your number 2. Maybe your number 1.
Is it? Oh,
That's
we'll
crazy.
see. Well, you don't
That's
know
crazy.
that. You're just,
okay. Why do you
just
know
guessing.
that? I'm not guessing. I do know that. You got Nothing
Okay.
Fancy, and then Street Survivors, and then hopefully they're self-titled.
We'll see.
Yeah. So number
We
3
will
for me is Nothing Fancy. Nothing Fancy. They're Pony Boy. Their third album, 1975. I enjoy this one. I like this one. The first half was just kind of more Skynyrd sound. It's not a bad sound. It's when you strip it down, it is their sound. There's a big difference between the two. I know Skynyrd's fucking terrible because you're not as good as this other band that I'm never going to mention the entire time. But the second half of this album is where it really shined, right? Very blues, even some folk stuffs. They really stripped down their already basic formula and took it back to like the Delta blues and just went with it. Like you can tell these guys grew up listening to fucking Mississippi blues, Mississippi Delta blues, just
Definitely.
Robert Johnson Sunhouse stuffs. And that's awesome. But Made in the Shade, it's that type of song. It's an easy blues song that really gets into like what makes a good blues song. It's basic, but it's fun to hear. It's fun to hear a band that's already this successful take it easy and throw out a simple jam. And they've already done simple jams, but this one's just, I don't know. This one's, because blues, like good blues music is just so basic in its form and its approach. It's been tried and true. It's done, but we love it. Can't get enough of it.
Oh yeah, you fucking give me the Robert Johnson compilation with all of his shit. I'll just be super happy.
Yeah,
Sounds
I'll take
like
that
shit.
I'll take that Robert Johnson compilation.
Like I said,
new Jimmy rolled out any day of the week. You kidding me? Of course.
Like I said,
Fuck.
well, I didn't get to finish. It sounds like shit, but it has like a feel to it that just makes you feel. I mean, for me, it just makes me feel good. That's how a lot of blues music is, like Mississippi Delta blues. It's never recorded well, but damn, just the feeling behind it all is just it makes me feel good, and I just like that shit a lot.
That's why you love Clapton so much. So what'd you know?
I don't like. But when have I ever said I like Clapton? We all know that's fucking stupid. It's not even a good joke. Not even a good joke.
I laughed.
Well, you're your best customer. Your biggest fan. You're your biggest fan.
Your best customer. That's weird.
Your.
Saying your twice in a row is weird.
You are your. Yeah. You are. Yeah. Contractions, baby.
are.
Something that Captain Holt does not do unless he's in trouble.
No, the second your is not a contraction. It's
Yeah, but the first your is. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are your. Yeah. There's a contraction there.
At least the contractions. Like there's more than one contraction. Like you're giving birth.
No, I did not pluralize the contraction.
Did you contract the contractions?
You're the worst. It's the stupidest conversation ever. Oi. My number 3. Here we go. This is going to be a short rankings episode. Look at this. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? I would have thought. But my number 3 is Nothing Fancy. Third record from 1975, like you said. This one, I really dug this record. I wouldn't buy it on vinyl, but I still really liked it. This is straight up a blues record. Like there were some blues rock elements, whatever, which is, it can be annoying, moody blues, all that kind of bullshit from the 70s. But this is definitely more Mississippi Delta blues, which you kind of touched upon already, or we talked about. But
yeah, Nothing Fancy.
They did it well. They did it really well, and this is kind of a new lineup for the band on their third record. They hated Ronnie Van Zant at this point, which is fine. That's completely fine with me. They ended up recording this in 17 days, which I thought was pretty interesting. And it's kind of seemed like they didn't like this record because they recorded it so quickly. But I kind of like how it made it sound. It wasn't fussed over. It wasn't meant to be perfected by any means. And I feel like that's kind of what's wrong with the first record. But we'll get more into that.
There's nothing wrong with the first record. You fucking if I swear to God, if the first record's not fucking your number one, I'm turning this off. I'll tell you that much right now. I don't hear nothing about it.
All right, yeah, I honestly have no banger off of Nothing Fancy, and that's fine because the album overall was good. It was a good album, but I have no banger. There's nothing that really stood out to me, but overall it was a better record than everything I'd already talked about. So what do you got for number 2?
My new phrase to annoy people is when I say something, whatever it is, like when I just told you that if their first album's not your number one, then I'm turning this off, and then you end it with, what the fuck did I say? And I don't want to hear another thing about it. I'll tell you that much right now. That's what I say. So I'll say, I'm gonna turn this shit off right now. I'm gonna turn this shit off. I don't want to know anything about it. I'll tell you that much right now. And if you just like, God,
stupid.
I've been saying it I've been trying to like get into the habit of saying it after a really obnoxious things that I say for the past week, and it's starting to wear on people.
I bet it's fucking annoying.
I'll tell you that much right now. I don't want to hear nothing about it.
It's a lot of words to say.
I know
one
it's hard.
Single thing.
It's hard to get out, but man, like when you get it out successfully, it's so annoying.
Now when you're tripping over yourself like every single time.
That's why I got to practice. I've been I've just started doing this. Okay, remember I tried to bring Cincy back for years and years.
Yeah, Cincy, that's never going to come back.
But I never really did it though. Like I never committed to the bit. I never did.
Probably for the best. Cincy wasn't a great comeback.
Cincy's a fucking dope thing.
Cinch is a better way to do it, but Cincy not so much.
Dude, Cincy's awesome.
Nah. Anyway, okay, number 2. What do you
got? Second Helping, their second album. Second Helping.
I mean, that's very wrong.
Right after their first, yeah. This one opens up with Sweet Home Alabama, which isn't a terrible song, like you said. It's just, I'm just tired of hearing this. And every time I hear it, honestly, it reminds me of just stupid fucking drunk river, like white ladies. Like that's what it reminds me of, and I can't not get that out of my head. It's fucking annoying. So
they all kind of dance the same way, with like a drink in their hand.
Yeah, and they hold the drink up higher than they.
Yeah,
like, hold it
so
like
annoying.
at fucking like breast level. They have to hold it above like their head area. Like that's annoying. And it's just like this song, and then unfortunately too, some like CCR songs always just remind me of that same type of river rat. But the CCR is like timeless.
Yeah, they have great songs.
Dude, but afterwards, this album rips, man. There's a lot of fun to be had here. I don't understand like why. Okay. I don't. Maybe you just don't like fun. Did you not like fun at this time?
I have more fun than you'd ever have.
That's entirely false. So the first thing is first, right? That's where we start. First thing is first. Their bass player from the first, Ed King, is now transitioning to guitar because he's a fucking really good guitarist. They knew he was a good guitarist, but they hired him as a bass player. So now he's transitioning to guitar. So now we're getting like cooler riffs. We're getting more complex like patterns and songwriting. Yeah. This is not a jam band at all in any way, shape, or form, but at least we're getting better guitar work, and like that's what makes this one for me. That's what makes this one so great, is because it's pretty much another like self-titled album, but I like the guitar playing. I like the guitar playing a lot better. I think because he's a better guitar player than he is a bass player, now he can like give pointers to the other bass player. I don't know who even played bass on this one, and then they can write better songs. And the only thing that was like kind of not the greatest about this album was just like the vocal melodies. So whatever, that's fine. But the Ballad of Curtis Lowe, dude, the Ballad of Curtis Lowe is so good. It's just a storytelling song. It's rich with lore. It's fun. It's got this kind of cool way about it that just flows nicely, and it's just another fun slow song by them. Rad solos, great lead parts. This band is just so like inconsequential, but like that's what makes them just like a pathetic little dog, like trying to keep up with the big name in the Southern rock sound. And they just kind of make it work.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
They make it work.
I guess we'll get into that.
Well, they're not as good as Led Zeppelin, so there must be shit, right? Fucking.
Well, exactly, yeah.
Fucking guy.
100%. Dumb idiot. So that was your number 2. So my number 2 is the first record, pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd.
I don't think so.
That is my number 2. No, it really is my number 2.
I don't think that's wrong.
So what do you got for number 1?
Obviously, it's their first. Pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Fucking dumb title too. All right, so then my number 1 is obviously Street Survivors, the last one of this era of the band. Came out in 1977, like you said, 3 days before the tragic plane accident. So this album, it has a lot more variety, style-wise, genre-wise. They jump around a little bit more. It kind of sounds like they're having a little bit more fun. It's a little bit more nuanced in parts. And at this point, I feel like they'd really hit their stride. I feel like if they had kept going for a couple more, 3 more albums, they really could have made something truly fucking awesome. But obviously, fate had, other ideas for them.
You're fucking. What are you? Are you high? Are you eating gummies or something? Like
no.
What are you?
I think.
Daft?
I think the guitars on this album far surpass anything from the prior records. I think
the most iconic songs of all time.
Okay, outside of Freebird. Okay,
fucking, not just Freebird though. What are you talking about?
Okay. Anyway. The guitars I feel are much better on this record. The bass is fantastic. Much like the first record, the bass playing on this record is fucking fantastic. And Ronnie's melodies are just leaps and bounds better than anything on the prior 4 records. Like, I don't know what it is about this. Maybe it almost sounds like he was trying to kind of like channel his inner Jim Morrison, which is weird because I don't like the Doors and I really don't like Jim Morrison. But there were moments that were kind of psychedelic, the way he was singing and the way he was delivering the lines. That sounded really cool. I really liked it. It was a nice change up from the kind of the normal way he sings, which I'll get more into on the main episode. But I like the variety. Like I said, I like the variety on this record. My banger is, I have 2 bangers, honestly. The first one is I Know a Little, the kind of rockabilly sounding song.
Steve Gaines, baby.
Steve Gaines wrote it, but he didn't sing on it.
Yeah.
So he did write it. And it's more of a rockabilly jam. And I thought that was really cool. They've never done anything like it. It was so different. It was such a nice change from everything else I heard. The leads and solos are fucking insanely good on here. The guitar tones on this song, and really the album in general, were fucking excellent. This album was way better than anything that they had put out at this time. And another banger, I don't care. It's a single. It's one of the biggest hits. And honestly, until this week, I never knew this was a Lynyrd Skynyrd song.
What's your name?
Never. I never knew this is their song. I didn't even know who it was prior to this week. But yeah, I had no idea it was Skynyrd. But damn, that song is a fucking banger. I mean, that is a like through and through fucking banger.
It's a good song.
It's a fucking great song. But yeah, those are my 2 bangers. I think this is a great record. I don't think I'd get it on vinyl because I don't think I'd ever go back to it again. But it was a lot of fun listening to this one. So
none of these you would get on the vinyls. None of them I would get on vinyl. Fucking nuts. That is
because I would never listen to them again.
I'm just gonna say it. It might sound hurtful, but you're dumb. You are dumb. you are dumb.
Okay, if I'm gonna listen to like blues, southern rock, I mean, I have other albums I already have that I can listen to. I don't need to listen to this. I would never need to go back to any of these Skynyrd records.
There's only 2 bands that do southern rock well, and they both do it in completely different ways.
Yeah.
So for you to constantly say, "Whoa, insert other band here. This band does it better than them. Therefore, Skynyrd is not good." Like,
okay,
this
how
is
about
fucking
this?
Dumb. This is stupid. That's stupid.
Okay, how about this? This band I just don't really like that much, and I'll never go back to them.
Yeah, I know you don't like them for whatever fucking reason. That bothers me.
Okay, we'll get into that. We'll get into this on the main episode. So that should be fun.
Do you want to hear where I would put their live album and what I thought about it?
Oh yeah. Because I forgot to listen to. I forgot to listen to this.
Yeah, so they only put out one live album in the heyday, right? The original run of Skynyrd there, and it came out right before Street Survivors. So it had Steve Gaines on it. It had the Street Survivor lineup, but it was just live. And this band is not a jam band. They don't really jam. Freebird is about as far as they go, but they really do like rehearse. They really do. And I read a bunch of articles, interviews with Steve Rossington, and he is it Gary Roston or Steve?
Gary.
That he said that, yeah, dude, we always like, we hit it hard. We wrote out every single piece to Freebird. Every single note was thought out. And like, that's just a different way of writing things. For me now, where I'm at, I like a little more jammy stuff. So like Skynyrd and Grateful Dead are like as far as how they approach live music in regards to their studio stuff are fucking completely different, right? Apples and fucking drum sets, they're totally different. Because Grateful Dead, you listen to their studio albums, and I'm staring at my drum set right now. That's why I said that. I couldn't think of nothing else besides whatever I'm just saying. Like when Peter Griffin was trying to think of a fake name, remember? And he said he sees a little P on the plate. And he sees somebody crying. He's a P tear, and then he sees a griffin fucking fly by.
It flies by.
Stupid. Yeah. But the live album just sounds like the studio albums, right? It's just you're hearing better guitars because Gaines is on guitar. He's on lead sometimes, so he's playing some of these songs with a little bit more flair. So it's more fun than hearing most of their songs done in a more fun way. But overall, skippable. Don't worry about it. Don't ever listen to it.
That's what it seems like. Yeah, everything I read about the band and listened to this week, I don't imagine a live record would really add anything to their catalog or their kind of the way I perceive them. So,
I think you hated this band before you even went into this.
No,
therefore, yes, you did. You've never said anything nice about Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Okay. We'll get into this. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to unpack. Well, I don't know about that, dude. We'll get into that on the main episode. So let's get into that. So thank you all for listening. That's it. That's all. Well.